Hey guys, this is Building with Neodymium. It's currently a working title, but today we have one reference and five of us, five builders. We're gonna be building the same thing, but with our own styles and interpretations of the build. I'm really excited to see everyone's build because we haven't seen each other's work. And yeah, that's the premise of the video.
So, my name is Dek,
Hey, I'm Siv.
My name is Dai.
I'm Jesper.
I'm Pickle.
and we are
And-
Nodenium.
We are
We are
Neodymium.
We're the
Together
entire
again.
Nodanian.
So this is the reference for today's challenge, and we were scouring Pinterest to find an interesting image, but all of us look at this image and we were like, oh, I think Jesper could have a good build.
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't see the reference image until we were halfway through the event.
Oh my god.
Oh.
How?
But we said that specifically because Jasper is really good with colors and he puts a lot of colors in his builds. And I don't think a lot of us texture as much as he does. So this is going to be a really interesting challenge.
No, this was
So-
a unique inspiration image. This was really hard. All the colors are just in there. Like you can see every brush stroke even, I feel like.
I don't know about you, but I think it was pretty easy, so...
No,
Okay, whatever.
Okay.
Whatever.
Okay.
I'm Siv. I'm so good at building.
I
No.
think many of us never really tried this kind of build to try and actually design in Minecraft. So this is gonna be interesting to see how I try to tackle this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited.
All right. Yeah, let's start with the wheel.
3, 2, 1.
1.
Fingers crossed right now that it's not me. After what
I
just
do
said.
not want to be fast.
Oh no.
Oh,
No.
Yes.
This is horrible.
I can't believe in you.
Okay.
But yeah, I start with just texturing the ground first, and then I put some pillars in the sides, like normally, just get the basic shape done. And I try to do it like player scale in a way where it's not too big. And I did start off with a 3-dimensional building and wanted to have a better feel of the build. But in the end, I don't texture the whole building all the way around. I just textured the front part where you're seeing right now. So it's more of a perspective build. And right now, I'm just trying to figure out the details here on the build itself, like trying to find where the light hits and the little how to add detail with the limitations of like Minecraft.
This is a question for everyone, actually. How big are the scale differences between our builds? Because I'm
Ooh,
looking at
that's
this now.
gonna be interesting.
Yeah. This is a different scale than what I did.
This is completely
Wow.
different.
Oh no.
It-
Did I do too small here? Am I going too small?
No, don't tell him.
fine.
Don't tell him.
But yeah, just to
Command
talk
blocks.
more, I do use command blocks there, the purple command blocks. Because I've never done coloring like this, so after I mapped out the whole blocking part, and then I started coloring the building itself, and I used a lot of color picker, and I just have the image open next to like a color picker app, and then I just click the color picker, and then kind of just go off of that and try to do an accurate representation of that color. So that's like the whole build itself. It's just like me looking at the image and then color pick it, and then keep doing that over and over until I get the desired look. And then right there at the top with the shelves there as the trim around the building, it was a bit too bright, so I put like a glass pane on top of it just to cover the whole section of that build. Since it is just like a perspective build, I was able to cover up most of it with glass, and it wouldn't affect anything because you're looking at it just from this specific angle right here. But yeah, it was,
Interesting.
I love the glass, actually. I
Yeah.
looked at it when it popped up. I was like, whoa.
I was curious
Yeah.
about that. I was like, wait, is that like a new shelf dropped and I didn't know about it?
But you also have you have borderless glass, right? Usually on.
yeah. So I was using
it works
borderless
so well.
glass.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I started texturing the mountain here. I also did the same trick here with the mountain. I use a color picker and then just kind of use Axion to create a brush stroke. Randomized, and then I went inside and just touched it manually and see what I like, and added grass on top of it. That's pretty much it for the groundwork.
It's quite interesting to me the way you did the railing with the shells and the fence gates, because in the reference picture it's not exactly like this, but I like the way you did it.
Yeah, I don't know how to do it nicely because I think my mind directly goes into building it player scale because that's what I mostly do. So that's what I did. And yeah, right now I'm doing the background element and I'm just doing it with white glass. And then I do clouds at the back right there. And then right now I'm just noticing that the mountain was a bit too low. And then I just increased it up a bit more. Same goes for the building. I'll make it a bit taller in a bit. But yeah, the last touch right there, I just added some light blocks to highlight the areas that I want. And then that creates a nice contrast and color in the build itself. But yeah, that's about it.
Nice.
Nice.
I wish we could have a really interesting that how small this is for me.
How
But,
detailed it is, yeah.
A few things that I do want to highlight is that I use snow layers for the roof just to give it that speck of highlight, and then I also use glass panes inside of those columns, and then there's like a black space there, and then I just wanted it to be a bit darker and give it more depth, I suppose, right? So I put like black glass pane and then I put like a gray glass pane under it. And yeah, I guess like the most important thing, I think, using the light blocks really bring the whole build together. Having that lighter area where I do want to highlight your eyes going towards is something that brings the build kind of ties it up really nicely.
Yeah, it's pretty subtle, but
I
like
didn't even
it.
think of doing that. Yeah, it's very clever.
Yeah.
Next
Yeah,
one.
alright, we can go with the next one. Yeah.
Next one.
Spin that wheel.
Imagine if it's just about to die.
Oh, it's
All right, the big shot right here.
Let's go. Let's see how easy it was.
When I saw the reference image, it was like very, loosey goosey kind of, and nothing was very well defined as we saw and everything. So it's like I'm gonna maybe be more structural with it and like see how I interpret everything in the painting. And
I'm very curious to see how you do it because your style is very, very structure heavy.
yeah, I am an
Oh, yeah.
architect. I am studying architecture, so I am kind of structure brained. So I started just off by like you wouldn't actually see this because I didn't record this, but I spent like the first like 10-20 minutes actually, which I don't count as the build. I was just measuring. I was like thinking like, what are the
Okay.
ratios that I
Oh
want to
my
get there?
God.
How do I like how I want it to look like? I had a really tough time with the columns because like I wanted them to be apart, like a ratio between the height and the width to be correct, and I couldn't get that down for like the longest time.
Oh, that
But,
technique with the black wool there, that's quite unique.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
assuming-
really-
I drew the contours of the line there to see how it would like be in the
Mhm.
terrain because
Terrain.
I started with the structure first and I did everything kind of around it afterwards. But in general, I kind of thought that like I'm not going to be super accurate to the reference image at least. I kind of stretched the building like vertically a bit more. I like to emphasize that it was really tall and I felt like that would be the best way to do it.
Yeah.
And like I blocked it all out and now I'm like now you can see there I'm just like
Oh, wow.
making all the finer details and everything around it. I spent
Yeah.
so much time like
And
flying in.
Your stuff is way
putting a
more
few bucks-
detailed than mine.
Yeah.
I also had
Yeah,
a
in
way
terms of, like,
bigger
the
canvas
shape.
to work with.
That is-
Yeah, and then like it was kind of hard to realize what was going on with like all the decorated top parts of the build because it was so
Yeah.
like general and stuff. I kind of used a
Yeah.
little bit of knowledge of like classical and all like this is almost like ancient like architecture that I've learned about. So it was kind of an unfair advantage maybe.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, prior knowledge coming
Oh,
into
how
this.
dare you?
Yeah, and then I also like kind of died. I just blocked out all the colors.
Oh,
and in
wow.
the same way, I started like blocking out the terrain, kind of like brush strokes, because then I went more like artistic with it, and I was like blocked out the terrain, and then I started like drawing was very like linear, and all the brush strokes were going like up and down, especially in the building compared to the terrain, which was like all crazy style, which kind of helped it stick out. So I was like, I'm gonna texture it as well in like lines. So everything is like I tried to make every texture block be like a line, and it had to be at least like 3 blocks tall, and only could be 1 block wide.
That's interesting.
Maybe like kind of give off the vibe of the painting more. I think that's just kind of what I like. I like less contrast and more like pastel things. It's kind of like my vibe, I think.
Oh, well, you really took your time with the detailing
Yeah,
process.
Yeah, the texturing was the like longest part.
But I really like how you blend the terrain, though. Yeah,
Yeah.
how you blend
Yeah.
it from that shape before. That's really cool as well.
I kind of just blocked it out, and then I used like the smooth tool on like very low settings and to kind of just like keep its form, but like blend it in all the shapes together, kind of. I tried to intimidate like the arty like vibe of the painting with that still.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think in the end, I mean, I think this far away you can't actually see a lot of the things I did because it's so far away, and I think a lot of the smaller details were lost.
Yeah.
I especially like, I don't know if anyone else did it, but like I saw that this on the door at the top of it, it had like a slant going inwards, and I saw that.
I
Oh,
didn't
that's
see
actually
that.
such a fun detail for it, and I was like, I have to add this to my build.
I
Yeah.
saw
that,
something
but then-
there, but I didn't interpret it as a slant.
Yeah. I
Maybe
know.
it's I've done painting before,
Yeah.
so like I kind of
Yeah.
understand when people like I say slant. It was like a weird shadow, and I was like, oh, maybe that's what they were going
Yeah.
for.
But when you said slant, I immediately connected the dots. Like, oh, okay, that does kind of look like a slant. So it could
Yeah.
definitely be a slant there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so general. I think that is kind of cool about this. Is you can interpret this in like your own way.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Looking at these side by side, I feel like they'll look completely different.
But I mean, yeah, I
Oh.
think that you took a different approach to it. But I mean, that's definitely really cool as well. Like how you how you interpret everything.
It's okay. You could say it was bad.
No, 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 no,
Terrible.
no, no, no! Don't put words into my
How
mouth.
dare
here.
you?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's
Spin
see.
the wheel.
Spin that wheel. Spin that wheel.
The wheels
No.
are refracting.
No, don't beat me after Jesper.
Oh.
God damn it.
Oh, no.
Close one.
Can we ask about the diamond floor?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
the
it was.
diamond floor.
It was
Pause on you.
specifically, yeah,
What?
the diamond flooring was specifically so it'd be easier for me to terraform it with Axiom because I'm still kind of new to it. You will see a lot of really stupid decisions made with Axiom. This is so inefficient to work. My build took around 4 hours, I'd say. Again, I work really inefficiently and it shows. It's not about the journey, it's about the destination. So I just kind of sketch it out some wool before I put in the colors. I usually like doing that, just messing around with it. I think I got like around a finished like sketch here. Then I started blocking out some of the terrain just to see how it'll look. And then I started actually coloring the build itself.
Are
Yeah.
those windows?
Those are pillars. Yeah, I interpreted them as windows. Yeah, I just put in like a base color here.
Oh, I like that.
Started just changing it.
Yeah.
It's usually how I work. I really like just having the outline, then just put in base color. Then I start to really put in some colors. And just like Civ did, I did notice that the build itself was used a lot of upwards and downward strokes instead of just side to side. And I tried to kind of emulate that, but I think a lot more heavier than you did. Everything
like
is like a lot
big
more
swirls.
lodges. Yeah, I did realize here that the white concrete that I used was a bit too light for what I wanted, so I switched it out to clay. When I doing the texturing, I really try to look at the picture and imitate the strokes and the colors as best as I could. It was just like a lot of going in and out, changing stuff. It's all very uncertain. This is a very difficult art style for me. I think it's not something I usually do, and it was very hard. I feel like.
I like how you made an Among Us on with the pink lights.
Okay, and then I started going in with more of the glass because I wanted to try and get more of the subtle coloring because you can see some different shadings in the actual reference image. This is somewhat of a new technique to me. I don't think I did the best I could, but I'm still learning. Hopefully get better.
I'm surprised this is the first one we're seeing so far which use glass. Like
That's true.
Yeah.
I thought it'll be way more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I did use glass to like hide the shelves there. So
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah,
This is the
used
first
it.
one that used it for texturing.
For
Yeah.
texturing, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you technically did use yours for texturing. It's just to add a bit more of effects instead of just plain texturing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of finished with it, and then as you can see, very inefficiently coloring the terrain. I just used like the rock tool in Axiom to make the rough outline. Then I just started raising and smoothing out and coloring it in. I did notice at the end that I spent more time on the terrain than on the actual build, which is definitely concerning. Yeah, I finished just going in with Axiom, and I started adding some finer touches by hand, just flying in, shaping it a bit to fit. I did take a lot of creative liberty with the terrain itself because it's a bit less comprehensible in the actual reference. But yeah, you can see just texturing the shapes. I did go a bit more darker down than on the actual mountain itself. I thought the mountain itself kind of looked a bit more pale in the reference, at least what you can see from it. Yeah, I mean, if you had the light thing, I completely did not think of that at all. Like, I didn't really think about where to draw your eyes when texturing. I just kind of tried to copy the colorings themselves.
I do think you did a very good job with the framing. Like the whole framing of the terrain really draws your eye into the build itself.
Yeah.
Then it was
Yeah.
very intentional. It was definitely intentional. I feel like the specific special thing in my build as of right now is the glass. I'm still trying to find out how to properly use glass. It's a very new technique to me. I think I did an okay job. It's definitely not my best build, but I think it turned out pretty good at the end there.
Looks
Yeah.
great. Tell you about
Yeah,
it.
it looks great.
I actually
Thank
really
you.
like it as well. Yeah. Is there anything you want to highlight?
I mean, the terrain itself, I do actually quite like the terrain. I love going in with just walls and slabs and adding in a lot of depth to it. And the glass itself, I expected there to be more glass, to be honest, in this video, but I like how it turned out. It still needs practice, but I feel like it's a nice way to add those more subtle colorings that regular blocks just can't do.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
There's a battle between Jesper and Deck.
Yeah, let's see.
Oh god, now I'm either before Jasper or after Jasper.
Jasper.
What? Why
There's no
why
good
are
option
people
here.
putting the
I like how we're
pressure on
hyping
me?
this up so much, and Jasper's gonna
Yeah.
show, and it's gonna be like a dirt hut.
It's gonna be
Oh,
epic,
it's gonna
man.
be one of those.
Okay, let's see. No,
Right deck.
before I
Oh my
start-
god, the villagers!
Yeah, the villagers are a very prominent thing throughout the video, so get used to them. I will say before it starts, this took me like around 3 hours, and this is like a complete white 180 from what I usually do. I usually do like big structures, very geometrical, clear lines, colors, not very much hard on texturing, so this was kind of rough for me, but I did try to speed build this as fast as I can, because this is kind of like what we're trying to do. So I do know that I can say for myself that I am pretty good at scaling stuff just by looking at it. So I did just start scaling from, as you saw at the start, with the pillars. I kind of knew I wanted to make them 2x2 because you will see later why. So I just started from there and just eyeballed the rest of the scale. And I took this framing in mind, tried to build the terrain around it. And then for the terrain at the front of the building, I used the shape tool in Axiom and made a few different like types of spheres, pasted them around to create different rock formations. And later down the line, it will help me texture it, the whole thing with Axiom. As you can see right now, I just did like green at the top for all the gold blocks, added some grass on top of the moss, and then for the rest of the gold blocks, I did black because that was kind of like the color in the reference image. Yeah, and then I didn't know how to do like the rest of the terrain, so I just added a path. Now for
Wow.
the
Really?
pillars, this is
So,
exactly what I
yeah.
was talking about with the pillars. I really wanted to do this technique with the stairs, even though like it's not really as it looks in the reference picture itself. I really just wanted to try it. Then I'm just placing signs, trying to make anything work, and I didn't really like what came out, so I moved to the top. There I just got a bit more confident, and here I
Signs.
completely gave up. So I tried to I tried to shape out the whole build with a block I knew I'm not gonna use, just to get the walls and the slabs down and everything. Now here, this is a fail on my part. I copied the tower to like something that is out of view, and I tried to fix the texturing. I didn't change a lot, but as you can see here now, I pasted it,
Yeah,
and
that's
then
better.
I went around with this kind of style and tried to texture the whole thing like this. I tried to finish one half of it. This is not really a symmetric build in terms of texturing, so I don't know why. My brain, with how I usually build, I usually do just one half and then I copy to the rest, or copy to the other side. This is not how it works
Yeah.
here, but my brain still worked that way, and that's what I did. But I did do manually the other side. I didn't just copy paste it.
I do love like the coloring. It feels like you're a lot less afraid of using different colors other than just
Yeah.
the whites and the blues.
I mean,
There's my
what I
block,
did with the
actually.
coloring, I knew I wanted to use the pink terracotta, not the pink, the magenta terracotta, and then the light.
Oh, wait, this finished so fast, like.
Yeah, wow, that's just
Yeah.
worship here instantly.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
sorry, in
terrain?
the last like 5 seconds, everything just finished.
Like
you
here?
you were fast.
Let's see what I did. Let's break it second by second. I don't know.
Yeah, what did you even do in this?
So I just finished the top part there. I finished the texturing basically, and now to fix the terrain, so I just colored the whole sandstone with the grass type I had, and I fixed the back there of the terrain, and on the right I added more green because that's how it looks in the reference picture, and then I just added some more grass types on top of the moss blocks, and of course I added a man there.
I really like how you did the pillars
Oh,
as well.
different.
Yeah, the pillars are definitely interesting. They definitely you look at them and you're like, ooh, the pillars.
Yeah, they're very
It's
striking.
like the first thing you notice.
Yeah, the only problem I
Yeah.
have with them is that they're very white and the rest is not as white. It's like they kind of pop out too much, I feel like. Like they don't really feel connected to the rest of the
Stairs
build.
to work with.
Yeah,
Yeah, it sucks.
You give us more blocks, Mojang.
yeah.
More stairs.
If they do want to add the slabs and stairs for it.
I can't wait for the slab updates and the slab.
Slab update.
Can I do say that the nether bricks are a choice on the?
I know. After I finished the flashback, I was like, I don't really like those nether bricks, but whatever, just leave it. I guess one thing I want to highlight about my process itself is I do think the way I did the terrain with the black terrain and the green on top is kind of unique and is a good technique to know in general, which is, as you saw, I did the gold blocks there with the different types of spheres, and then with Axiom you can mask it so it only colors the blocks that can see the sky and stuff like that. So that's what I did for the green, and then the rest I colored with the black, so it kind of created this easy effect of green and then black underneath for simple and easy terrain.
This is definitely a good tip that I'm gonna forget. Jesper!
I took about like 4 hours on this, and I did it all in one sitting, so that was
Flexing on
for
us.
me. Yeah, I don't know. I paused in between, but like they're only like small passes. And yeah, I was really excited with this because I could use purple blocks, and I like when I can use purple blocks. So yeah, I started building here, and you can immediately see I did 3
Huge.
pillars, and that is
Yeah.
the wrong amount of pillars.
Yeah.
I only figured that out after I was ready with building this.
Oh.
So you know, it's just that it has 3 pillars now. I mean, yeah, I definitely think I went pretty big with it, but
Mhm.
yeah,
You could say that.
I just went pretty big with it. That's all there is to it.
Some might
So
say
yeah, I
it's
built this out, and I added like the support areas, and here I'm laying out a color palette, and here is a cut because I moved it upwards because I wanted to work on the terrain.
Oh my god.
So I started with just some cubes. I thought that would be nice to just have some rough cubes, and then I smoothed it maybe a little bit too much, but I'm gonna fix it.
There's never too much.
And then I
Make
added
us
the
really
rocks,
say.
and I made this all blue because the reference it is kind of blue.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and then I first I was struggling with what color I wanted the grass to be, but I ended up with the green terracotta. I think it's terracotta. It might be concrete. I don't know.
It looks like terracotta.
Yeah.
I sketched out where all the grass was gonna be. Yeah, added some more terrain there because it would look better for the eventual screenshot. And then I just started texturing.
There we
Oh my
go.
God. This
Yeah.
is where it
There we
starts.
go. Yeah.
After it worked.
Yeah, so I just like wanted to go in like kind of big blobs, like you could see in the reference. There's like giant areas, so kind of like what Pickle did.
Yeah.
Just like big strokes of colors. And yeah, I'm now texturing like the side of it and the pillars. This
Yeah.
texture itself is pretty easy, and then the texturing is definitely the hardest part of the build. So yeah, one thing I didn't want to do is I didn't want to use like one of the strong whites. So I tried to be very specific with what white blocks I was gonna use. There is some mushroom stem and some diorite in
Yeah.
there, but I didn't go any like lighter, like it's like that would just like kind of overpower the blues and the purples, and it just
Interesting.
kind of like be too. It was too much. I had it in my initial palette, but then I removed the really white blocks.
This is also
it was
the
just,
first
like,
build
a
we've
little
seen in
bit too much.
palettes.
But I like how it feels intentional, you know, like it
Yeah.
kind of transitioned between the colors pretty well. Like it's not harsh. And you're not using glass paint, I'm assuming, right? Are you?
Yeah.
No, I'm not using glass paints.
Oh wow.
And yeah, here I did a little bit of the terrain. I textured it a little bit with like browns and I think
Mhm.
some netherite blocks, so very survival friendly.
Of course, of
Kinda-
Here
course.
I'm just
Yeah, yeah.
messing with the grass and just trying to add like a bunch of different grass. Yeah, then I started to do a background, just like a flat background because I didn't want to
Mhm.
make a full terrain. So I'm just kind of using the noisy texture and then just kind of masking it with a bunch of glass. I use glass in the background. And yeah, there's the final screenshot of the build. Yeah, I really like how the end result like looks when you take the screenshots.
You gave each
Yeah.
part of the build like its own space to be present.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I didn't think about going bigger means you're able to texture more. I mean, it sounds so obvious right now. When I was doing it, I just like, why should I go big? You know, I'd be wasting so much time, and I just like ended up going on a player scale, and I just thought it would make more sense. But looking at this, I clearly can see why. Like the benefit of going this big and being able to fit different colors in there. That's like a really great idea.
Yeah, I also kind of interpreted the build as being like a massive structure. Like it's an ancient, massive structure that's been there for a long time. So that's also kind of an
Guys.
extra reason why I went big.
I will say it's not a bad thing, but the terrain kind of looks like eggplants.
It's
You
true.
used blue.
What about you?
Wait, you used the blue too. Why is my blue wrong? Yeah, it's definitely a little bit blue, the terrain.
No, no,
I
no.
Maybe
didn't
it's
notice
like
that
a little
the
bit
moment you said
extra
it.
blue.
I think honestly, even if the reference isn't blue, I think it works with how the colors that you use in the builds.
Yeah,
That's more important, I
definitely.
think.
what have I not said? Like one small thing you could see is that I used for like a little subtle highlight. If you look right above the pillars, I used some trapdoors for like a little highlight on top. Yeah, over there.
Oh.
So there are some like trapdoors over there for like an extra small highlight. So I guess that could be a cool detail to point out.
Yeah.
No,
That's
that's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for today's video, where we do the 5 builders and 1 reference challenge. If you guys have any suggestion on what we should do next, leave in the comments below. This has been Building with Project Nadinium. It's a working title. But yeah, let us know what you think, and subscribe and like and all that good stuff. And we'll see you in the next video.
See you guys.
See ya.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.